Hello everyone and welcome to today's Facebook Live, where we're taking a focused look at Qualifications 2022. These are our new qualifications launching on the 1st of September. I'm Jess, I'm AAT's Marketing Manager for Students and Training Providers, and today I'll be joined by Georgie and Alice, who work in our Qualifications team, as well as Helen, who has been overseeing all communications relating to Quals 2022. We'll be sharing some slides today and talking you through what these changes mean for you. Now, these slides will be available in the chat so you can follow along yourselves. We'll also make time for a Q&A towards the end of the session, so make sure you get your questions in and we can answer them all in real time. Now, I'd love to start off by finding out what level you're all currently studying. Now, it may be that you're not studying yet with AAT, that's fine. Either way, if you let us know in the chat so we can get a little bit to know about you. And in the meantime, let's go through to the others so they can introduce themselves properly.
Hi, so I'm Helen. As Jess said, I'm the marketing manager for AAT, and I've been the one responsible for sharing all the information with you guys about Qualifications 2022. We know there's a lot out there, and hopefully today's session will make it a bit easier for you to understand some of the key information.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgie. I am a Senior Manager Qualification and Assessment Design. So I've been working with Helen and the team on these new qualifications for the last 2.5 years. So really looking forward to their launch on the 1st of September.
Hi everyone, I'm Alice and I'm the Assessment Design Manager, so working very closely with Georgie on all of the assessment development from practice assessments through to the live. So again, very excited for everything to go live in September.
Perfect, thanks so much. So now you've met all of the team, you see we've got all the experts on hand today. So now I'm going to pass over to Georgie, who's going to take us through the slides.
Thank you for that, Jess. So just sharing the slide deck now. Again, it should be accessible to you. So what we're going to be covering today. So we're covering key dates. So the key dates that you'll need to keep in mind. Atlas Cloud, our new assessment platform that will be used to administer all Q22 assessments from September. The transitional arrangements. So we will be going through each level one by one, the transitional arrangements. So if you're studying AQ 2016 and you want to transfer a crossover onto Q22, exactly what that means for you. I'll then be handing back over to Jess to do transfer fees, and then we'll open it up to the floor for Q&A. So key dates for Q22. So we are going live on the 1st of September. So that means that the 31st of August will be the last registration date for all current AQ16 qualifications. So that's from our access all the way through to professional levels. 1st of September 2022 will be the first registration date for all qualifications, including level 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you are registering through AQ 2016, you have until the 30th of September 2023 to take your assessments. Okay, so that's the last opportunity that you have to sit any of your AQ 2016 and access level assessments. So keep these 3 key dates in mind. Atlas Cloud. Now, some of you might be familiar with Atlas Cloud, some of you might not. So for AQ 2016 assessments, you'll all know we administer our assessments on Surpass, which is administered by our BTL provider. For Quals 2022, we're moving on to a new assessment platform called Atlas Cloud. So everything from practice assessments through to live assessments, and also the EPA, so our endpoint assessments for our apprentices, the computer-based components will all be assessed and using Atlas Cloud from September. So it's really key that you familiarize yourself with the platform. So to help you to do this, we've pulled together some short videos covering everything you need to know, from accessibility and navigation through to the many different question types that we use across our assessments, some of which you'll be familiar with, others are completely new, and also how to submit your assessments. So I've included on the slide here a link to the resources webpage, and they're up there. So go and take a look, grab a coffee or a drink, and enjoy those videos to help you familiarize yourself. We've also developed sample assessment and mark schemes. These demonstrate at each qualification level a sample assessment for one of our assessments. These are available for you already. They're in PDF format. And then at the point that you become registered onto the new qualifications, you obviously will also have access to practice assessments. So we have 2 practice assessments for each of our assessments, and these are available on the Lifelong Learning Portal. But again, just a reminder, you won't have access to these until you've registered onto the new qualifications. So on to transitional arrangements. We've covered this before, but we're going to cover it again. So in terms of what it means for students, so we're no longer capping the transfer pass mark between AQ16 and Quals 22 at 70%. Okay, so essentially what that means is you will take your percentage achieved in AQ16 and that will carry its way through onto Q22. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule. So just to be clear, combined units, and we'll go through these in more detail. Alice will pick it up as well as we run through. Combined units, only one result can be transferred to the equivalent Q22 assessment. And when transferring between AQ16 and Q22 bookkeeping qualifications, because the AQ16 bookkeeping qualifications are not graded, it means that the achievement of the assessment that you get will be capped at 70%. So that's only if you're transferring between AQ16 and Q22 bookkeeping at either level 2 or level 3. There's no limit on the number of units that you transfer from AQ16 to Q22. However, you have to have achieved a minimum of 1 assessment on Q22. Okay, and that excludes any recognition of prior learning and any exemptions. So I'm going to hand you across over to Alice now, who's going to take you through level 2. I'll pick it up at level 3 and then back to Alice for level 4.
Okay, so level 2. So at level 2, you can transfer your achievement for bookkeeping transactions, bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing. So for example, Georgie, if you achieved 78% in your AQ16 bookkeeping controls assessment, you would be able to transfer that result across for the Quals 22 principles of bookkeeping controls. As you can see on the table here, there are no direct transfers available for using accounting software, working effectively in finance, business communications, introduction to company law, or introduction to payroll, because there are no equivalents in the Qualifications 22 qualification. Whilst there is a synoptic assessment as part of Quals 22 level 2, you won't be able to transfer your achievement for FSYA either, as the business environment synoptic covers a new module, the business environment, which we don't have an equivalent of in the current qualification. So to look again, another example, Georgie, you might have achieved bookkeeping fundamentals at 80%, bookkeeping controls at 78%, elements of costing at 75%, for example, using accounting software 83%, and your foundation synoptic at 75%. Great results across the board, but you would only be able to carry across bookkeeping fundamentals, bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing, and you would then need to sit your business environment synoptic assessment. So that's pretty much a quick overview of level 2.
Thanks, Alice. So on to level 3. Because we changed the synoptic assessment last September, so what was a VSY, which included spreadsheets for accounting, we changed that. I've got 2 slides up here. So achievements pre-September 2021. So that's on screen now. So a couple of key changes for Q22. We've got a brand new unit called Business Awareness. So this is in Q22. Covers everything from ethics, new organizations, etc. Lots of business skills, data, key skills, key themes. We've also combined advanced bookkeeping and final accounts preparation. So on AQ16, AVBK and FAPR equates to financial accounting, preparing financial statements, which is FAPS is the acronym. So because of that, only 1% on AQ16 will transfer across, and that percentage is your AVBK percentage. So Alice scores 93% on AVBK, she scores 87% on FAPR, which means when it transfers across over to Q22, she'll carry across that 93% onto FAPS. Management accounting and costing and the advanced synoptic assessment both have to have been achieved in order to directly achieve the transfer across into management accounting techniques. Okay, so because of the spreadsheet component, which was included as part of AVSY pre-September 2021, both MAMAC and AVSY have to have been achieved. But what we will do is we'll take the percentage achieved for MAMAC, and that will equate to your direct result for management accounting techniques on Q22. Indirect tax, achievement result directly transfers across over to tax processes for businesses. Ethics for accountants, there's no unit assessment, there's no transfer. An awful lot of that content has been consumed into the new business awareness module. And again, spreadsheets for accounting, that's included as part of AVSY. So there's no direct transfer for that. So this is what you need to look at if you've achieved these assessments before September 2021. From September 2021, slight differences, because what we have done from September last year is we'd removed spreadsheets for accounting as part of the advanced synoptic assessment. So spreadsheets for accounting is now a standalone assessment. So the only key change, AVBK and FAPR remain the same, no changes there. The key difference is from September, you need to have achieved MAMAC and also your spreadsheets for accounting assessment. So you must have successfully achieved SPSH. Again, we'll be taking your MAMAC percentage across to equate for management accounting techniques. Indirect tax, no change. Ethics for accountants, still consumed in the business awareness module. And the advanced synoptic assessment has no direct transfer. So that's level 3. Back over to you, Alice, for level 4.
Thanks, Georgie. Okay, so just to cover the mandatory units first at level 4, starting with management accounting budgeting, so MABU, and management accounting decisions and control, MDCL. As those 2 units have been merged into, well, the content of those units has been sort of reviewed and merged into the one applied management accounting in Qualifications 22, you will only be able to bring one unit across, as Georgie was explaining, similarly to level 3. So, for example, Georgie's registered on the Professional Diploma in Accounting and she's achieved 78% in MABU and 72% in MDCL, but now wishes to transfer across to Qualifications 22 to complete. Their result would be recorded at 70% for Applied Management Accounting. It would have that cap on there. There's kind of been a bit more content change in Applied Management Accounting. So whilst you can still have your transfer, we are capping that at 70%. Moving on to financial statements of limited companies, that would be a direct result transfer. And the same with the professional synoptic assessment, which at the moment also includes accounting systems and controls. You would be able to transfer your result across to internal accounting systems and controls under the Qualifications 2022 qualification rather. So that's the mandatory units. If we just move on to the optional units. Thank you. You'll see that 2 must be completed in under AQ16 and with Qualifications 2022, and all of them can have a direct achievement transfer. So, for example, if Georgie achieved 89% in personal tax, she would be able to transfer that result over to personal tax under Qualifications 2022. And the same for credit management, for example, say Georgie got 75%, she would be able to transfer that result directly across.
Brilliant, thanks for that, Alice. So hopefully that's given a bit more clarity across the levels when it comes to transitional arrangements. I'm going to hand you over to Jess now, who's going to talk you through transitional fees and also membership fees.
Fab, thanks, Georgie. Okay, so fees. We know there's a lot of differences here, so hopefully this will clear up any questions you might have. Now, a key difference for Q 2022 is that there will no longer be an annual membership fee. So instead, the fee that you pay for access will give you access to the qualification for the lifespan of the qualification, which is typically 4 to 5 years. So whereas at the moment you'll pay for a 12-month subscription, once you've paid for your fee for Q 2022, you will have access until Q 2022 closes. Now, we're aware that some students are on the current AQ 2016 syllabus, and you may be looking to transfer across. So we've put into place some reduced transfer fees for this, which you'll be able to see on this slide now. So if you're currently studying the foundation certificate in accounting on AQ 2016, and you're looking to move across to the same level on Quals 2022, you'd pay £50 to transfer. That will then register you onto the level 2, and you'll continue to have access then until the end of Quals 2022. When we're looking at the level 3, so the advanced diploma in accounting, if you're moving across that to the Q 2022 equivalent level 3, it will be £75 to transfer. And then you'll see there at the level 4, so the professional diploma in accounting, across to the new level 4 on Quals 2022. If you're transferring, you will pay £100. Now, I do need to emphasise that there are eligibility criteria for the transfer. You can only utilise this transfer fee if you have got an active student membership. So if you're currently registered as an active student, and you have to have successfully achieved at least one assessment on the qualification you wish to transfer. So for example, if you're currently on level 2 and you're looking to transfer over to the new level 2 on Quals 2022, you must have an active student membership. So your membership must be paid up to date and you've got current access, and you have to have completed at least one assessment on the foundation certificate in accounting in order to move that across. So that's the same for each level. So do make sure that if you are looking to transfer, that you have looked at that criteria and to make sure that you are eligible to make that transfer fee there. Now, if we move on to the next slide, we do recommend that students that are currently completing their qualification under AQ 2016 continue to do so. So as we come into the final year of access for AQ 2016, we are changing the renewals in line with that, and we'll be reducing the membership renewal fee to match the amount of access time available. So you can see here, as we know, it's the qualifications, the new ones are going to launch on the 1st of September, and that also starts sort of the last year countdown of the availability of AQ 2016. So if you're renewing your AQ 2016 subscription between September this year and December this year, you will pay £110, and that will give you access to the qualification until it ends the end of September 2023. If you're renewing your membership between January 2023 and April 2023 next year, you will pay £80, and that will give you access until the remainder of AQ 2016. And if you're in those final months, so from May 2023 through to September 2023, you will pay £55 to renew your membership, and that will then give you access until the end of the syllabus. Now, the reason that we've put those different fees in there, as I said earlier, is just because we know that you'll have less access time to get those finished. So we do recommend, if you are currently studying under AQ 2016, you've only got an assessment or a couple of assessments left, we do recommend that you continue on and finish your qualification under AQ 2016, and you'll have those access to those renewal fees there as well. Now, anyone that completes AQ 2016 and then are looking to register for Quals 22 to start afresh on a whole new level, you will pay the appropriate fee for Quals 2022. Now, we will be sharing those fees in due course. We'll be announcing them in AAT Weekly in the weeks coming. If you're not signed up to AAT Weekly to receive that, and if you're not sure what it is, that's our weekly newsletter, which is full of student-focused updates and study support. You can register to get access to AAT Weekly via your My AAT account. Simply log in, click on your name and membership number in the top right-hand corner, head to edit your details, and then you can click to sign up for essential updates, and that will make sure that you're getting that newsletter then. We do share a lot of these updates and information, and we'll be sending a lot of reminders about Quals 22 and what's happening and what you need to look out for. So make sure you keep an eye on that. But for now, just make sure you're looking at the eligibility criteria to see if you're eligible to transfer. And if not, if you're going to be renewing on AQ 2016, then you'll be able to pay those reduced fees depending on when your renewal is. So hopefully that clears up the fee situation for you a little bit. So now we've taken a whistle-stop tour of all of those areas, we're now going to go over to the Q&A. So there have been some questions coming through already. So we'll kind of work back from the first ones and work our way through. So if you have got any questions at all about that, there's anything that you want to ask, do get your questions in now whilst we've got the experts here, and we can take our way through that. So just to start off, we've got our first question here. So we've got somebody that says they haven't quite finished their AQ 2016 level 2. They don't finish their exams by the end of June. Will they lose the exams that they've passed, or will they transfer? So probably a few things we need to touch on here, because we've got June in there, but it doesn't quite equate with the dates that we're talking about. So obviously you have had an answer there about what will happen, but it might just be good for everybody whilst we're live here just to touch on those dates. Helen, can I pass that one over to you?
Yeah, not a problem at all. So as Jess said, a couple of things to mention on that one. June isn't a correct date. You've got until the end of September, so the 30th of September 2023, to actually complete all of your level 2 qualification assessments. What you can consider is at that point, you won't lose anything you've achieved. So if you've achieved 2 of the assessments at level 2, and actually you then decide to transfer either at the early September this year or any time up until the 30th of September 2023, all of those achieved units that you've got will carry with you, basically. As Georgie and Alice have just gone through the different transitional arrangements, those that transfer will be held and transfer over to Qualifications 2022's level 2 certificate for you. Anything that you haven't already sat, obviously you will need to sit the Q22 equivalent versions. But yeah, remember 30th of September 2023 is the date you have up until, not June.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so we've got a question here from Paige, and I think it'll be useful for us to talk about this for everyone as well. So Paige has asked, what happens if you finish level 2 and you want to start level 3 on Quals 2022? Will the results not transfer, and will she have to take the synoptic again? So I think it's just worth reiterating that once you've finished your qualification on AQ 2016, it won't transfer over to Quals 2022, but that's because it doesn't need to, because you've completed it in its own right on AQ 2016. So you will then just go ahead and start afresh. You'll register for Quals 2022 at level 3, and you'll start your student journey from there, and you'll go through the qualification. In terms of that synoptic and whether you'll need to take that again, because you would have completed the qualification in its entirety on AQ 2016, you won't need to do anything again in relation to level 2. So that goes for everyone. If you've completed a level and a qualification on AQ 2016 in full, when you're looking to move over to Quals 2022, you just need to start afresh at the next level. You won't need to repeat anything on that level that you've completed, because you've completed that already. So we've got another question in here about, does AQ 2022 level have a synoptic? Now, I know that's been a big question amongst students. A lot of students are thinking, yay, let me move over because there is no synoptic. Georgie or Alice, I know it's your favourite question, so can I come to one of you to answer that?
Yeah, no worries. So synoptic assessments, obviously in AQ 16, they're across level 2, level 3 and level 4. For Q22, we've only got one synoptic at level 2. Okay, so that's the business environment synoptic. At level 3 and at level 4, there are no synoptic assessments on Quals 22.
Perfect, thank you. And we've got another question here as well about what happens if I only have the synoptic level 4 to complete. So again, when you're looking at transferring across, you really need to just have a look at these transfer documents just to be able to see what moves across. So you've got until the last level 4 synoptic window in 2023 in order to be able to complete that. If you haven't done that by that date and you're looking to transfer, then you'll just need to have a look at the transfer listings there to see what will transfer over and what you may have to complete on that new level. So definitely have a look at those documents. And hopefully my colleague Jaden as well has pushed in the chat. We have got a dedicated page for Quals 22 where all of this information is listed online for you that you can access once you've logged into your My AAT account. You've got access to all of the documents there on the resources tab as well. So you can download it at any point and have a look through that as well. So let's have a look at the other questions. So we've got a lot of questions as well about what happens with the synoptics. So hopefully that's kind of cleared it up in terms of your transfer there and what's happening. So somebody's asked, is it better to wait with level 3 until AQ until 2022 launches in September, or is it best to start level 3 now? I'll put that out to the group. Who would like to give an answer to that? What would you recommend? What would your advice be?
I'll take that one. Anyone else, feel free to jump in. I guess the advice at the moment is you've still got plenty of time. I mean, if you want to carry on, as I say, with level 3, or there are other questions and similar questions around sort of whether they should wait for level 4 and things like that. But our advice at the moment is if your training provider is still taking you through your qualification, don't have a break unless, you know, personally you feel the need to have a break. Keeping the momentum going with your studying is absolutely fine. As we've also said, there is that option and ability to transfer to Qualifications 22 once that opens up from the 1st of September this year. If you've started your studies on whether it's level 3, level 2, and wish to transfer, if you've already sat some of those assessments, then obviously that makes you eligible for the transfer fee as well, so long as you keep your student membership up. But we would always suggest have a chat with your training providers, see what they're doing in terms of delivery around AQ 2016 and Q22, see what their delivery program looks like, and make a decision from there. But the option is still available for you, and you've got plenty of time because, as we said, you've got up until the 30th of September 2023 to do any studies and assessments between now and then as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Helen. And I guess following that, we've got a question here which kind of follows on. Somebody said that they've recently started level 2 and they're unsure when they'll do their first exam. Do we suggest that they stay on AQ 2016? So exactly as Helen's just said there, you've got plenty of time to finish. You've got until the end of September 2023. So plenty of time to get that level 2 done. So yes, we'd recommend you stay on AQ 2016, get that completed under that. And then, you know, if you're looking then to go on to level 3, then you can do that from Q 2022. But we do recommend that for now you carry on the AQ 2016 and look to complete that there as well. I've got someone here that's asking about the fees, and they've said that they've paid for the AAT membership fee this year. So do they pay the transfer fees or the reduced fees in September? So I guess it depends on what you're doing there. I have seen that Helen's just started to answer this question actually. So Helen, did you want to take this one and answer it whilst we're live?
Yeah, of course, no worries at all. So basically the situation is, obviously, if you've already paid for your membership for this year, great, carry on, not a problem at all. For you to be eligible to transfer, if you decide to transfer, obviously that membership needs to be active. So obviously if you've just recently paid, you're going to have this next sort of 10, 11, 12 months. The only other eligibility requirement is that you've successfully achieved a unit assessment. So if you've paid that membership fee, you don't say what level you're studying, but for example, say you've completed one of the level 3 assessments, achieved that successfully. If you then decide come September or afterwards you wish to transfer, you will be eligible to pay the lower level transfer fee as opposed to the registration fee, so long as your membership is still active at that point.
Perfect, thank you. We've got a question that's come in here. Somebody said, I didn't pass my synoptic on level 3, but I did pass the AVBK. So if they transferred, would they have to do the new cost and exam in full because they've not done both of those contributing units? Georgie, can I pass that one to you, please?
Yeah, of course. So at level 3, obviously it's AVBK and FAPR that need to have been successfully achieved to get that FAPS direct transfer onto Q22. So in this one example, so if you've achieved AVBK, you still need to have achieved FAPR to get your FAPS. If you've not passed the synoptic, you still need to have achieved MAMAC and SPSH to get your management accounting techniques, or you take your management accounting techniques assessment directly on Q22.
Perfect, thank you. So I've got somebody here has asked about publishing books. So someone's asked if we order the Q 2022 Kaplan books level 4, will these be sufficient to use when starting in September? So yes, we've got lots of different publishers like Kaplan, Osborne, and BPP who create their own textbooks for the syllabus. So yeah, any that has been specifically written for Quals 2022, they will be the ones, if you're registering for Quals 2022 from the 1st of September, you'll need to use the relevant book. So as long as they're listed Quals 2022, then they should be fine to go forward. Just having a look here. So I've got another question in terms of passing level 4. Got lots of questions about level 4 here. So someone's asked, I've passed one level 4 exam on AQ 2016, but I want to start Quals 2022 in September. So from the registration fee, I'm thinking I pay £100, or have I misunderstood? Helen, can I come to you? I know you're expert on fees, just to reiterate that.
Yeah, not a problem. So yes, excellent. One of the eligibility criteria you've got there in that you've achieved an assessment already. So long as your student membership remains active between now and September the 1st, then yes, you would pay the £100 transfer fee, and that would transfer anything you've achieved across to a Q22 version, so long as it's equivalent, and then you will have full access to Qualifications 22 Level 4 diploma and all of the unit assessments and the support material and everything else ready for you to carry on studying on that qualification.
Perfect, thank you. I guess just touching on books again, looks like a hot topic. So someone's asked when the books will be available for Quals 2022, when they'll be released by the publishers. It does vary depending on the publishers. Some of them are looking to release a little bit closer to the time. I know some of you are kind of keen to get studying with the new syllabus. Obviously, do remember that you cannot register it until the 1st of September. So therefore, you know, some of the publishers may not make them available until nearer the time, just because you can have the book, but you're not going to be able to do anything with it until we actually start the syllabus in September. The best thing to do is to look directly with the supplier. So for example, if it's Kaplan or Osborne or BPP, if you go and have a look at them directly online, they should be able to advise on their website when that's going to be available and where that's going to be available. If you've got a training provider, it's always good to have a chat with them as well, just to see what books they suggest, what they'll be using, and if that's something you can purchase from your training provider directly as well. Got a question here. I failed my level 4 synoptic. What options are available for me in case I don't pass by the sort of deadline? They have put the 1st of September, but I think again a bit of confusion. Alice, can I come to you on that one as you took us through the level 4?
Yes. So if you haven't passed that by the September 30th, 2023, you would be able to transfer. You wouldn't be able to transfer your synoptic result over. You can transfer your studies to Qualifications 2022, and you would be able to sit the Internal Accounting Systems and Controls assessment.
Perfect, thank you. So it's just worth noting that once you've completed and once that deadline passes, which is the 30th of September 2023, once you register for Quals 2022, if it's the equivalent qualification, any modules that are eligible for transfer will transfer over at that point. So you just need to make sure that once you've registered for it, you'll see those results that are eligible will transfer over. So that's what you'd have to do in that case. Again, you've got plenty of time. If it's just that synoptic level 4 that you've got to complete, you know, we've got well over a year here for you to get that completed. So hopefully that's not something you'll have to look into doing. We would just say, you know, carry on with that. Hopefully you'll get your synoptic passed soon. And when it comes to the synoptics, just to reiterate for everyone, do make sure that you're keeping an eye on those synoptic calendars. Although you've got until the 30th of September 2023, until the AQ 2016 closes down, for those synoptic levels, we have very specific windows and you cannot sit them outside the window. Once that last window's gone, you've missed it. You won't be able to sit it again. So make sure if you are looking to get a synoptic assessment completed before that deadline, make sure you check for those appropriate windows. They are already published. You can access them online through your My AAT account. So definitely have a look at those just to make sure you plan ahead. We wouldn't want anyone to be caught short later on.
Just to add to that, sorry,
yeah.
Jess, just to add to that one, yeah, absolutely spot on. I think also just to stress that it's for the first attempt and also for the resit. So, you know, start thinking about that in terms of when you're planning your synoptic assessment, because after that 30th September date, not even a resit opportunity will be allowed post that date.
Exactly, yeah, thank you. I've got a question here. Can I still sit exams for the level 4 until the end of September? I want to go for personal and business tax until September, then register for level 4 and have this transferred and do the rest. So I think that's in relation to AQ 2016. So yes, you will have with those ones, because they're not sort of specific to a window, you will have until the 30th of September 2023 in order to sit those assessments, the same as any assessments on that level. What you would then want to do is then, if you're looking to transfer, just make sure that you're looking at those transitional documents, as we said, just to see what will transfer and how it will go across there. So if you are looking to maybe start 1 or 2, you can then move those across. But what I would say is if you're looking to start level 4 now, I would recommend just starting level 4 on AQ 2016 and completing it, rather than waiting until the launch in September and delaying that and moving that across. So definitely have a look at that, because that might be your best option. Got a question here. Someone has actually asked, what are the benefits of changing to Quals 2022 besides not having to do the synoptic? So again, I'll get one of the guys just to touch on that again in terms of that synoptic there. But who would like to come in on that, of what the benefits are of transferring across?
I think it's one of these situations. There's nothing wrong with any of our qualifications. So if you're currently still studying AQ 2016, it's a massively valued qualification. Employers love it. We know that. It meets the market demands. It's still fit for purpose and will continue to be fit for purpose as the years roll on. We have to change we have to review and update our qualifications periodically. As I say, it's generally around sort of the 4-year mark. And when we do that, again, we liaise with employers, we liaise with experts in the field, and we look at what the future of the industry is going to look like, and we have to make some amends to it accordingly. One of the things that have been brought into this qualification is some additional learning around sustainability and technology and those sorts of areas which are kind of moving up big in the market within all industries, not just accountancy. And so there has been some additional content included within those areas. But there's nothing to say that any of the qualifications or any of the units you've achieved, whether that's on AQ 2016, AQ 2013, if you've been a student with us for a long time, or moving into AQ 22, they are all exceptionally great qualifications, valued in the workplace, recognised in industry as a mark of excellence. So whether that's a benefit or not, I don't know. But as I say, don't panic over, transferring between 16 to 22 because you think it's a newer version. Either way, the qualifications are valid and employers love them.
Exactly. Thanks, Helen. So yeah, don't be worried and feeling pressured that you have to. Even though Quals 22 is coming on the 1st of September, for a lot of you, it's just, carry on as normal and get yourself through that qualification. It's only really in certain circumstances, it might impact you if you're looking to transfer across. And again, if you've got a training provider, I would definitely say be led by them. They're there to advise you in terms of what they'll be offering and what you'll be studying. So make sure you do have a good chat with them about what your future plans are. So next question, somebody has asked, will there be no annual fees going forward until we've passed the full level 4? We would then just pay the MAT fee. So I assume this is in relation to the Quals 22 fee. So yes, if you're registering and studying under Quals 2022, as we said, whichever fee you're paying at the beginning, if you're paying the reduced fee because you've transferred, or if you're paying the full fee because you're starting afresh on the Quals 2022, you will pay that one-off fee. And that then gives you access for the full length of the qualification. So typically 4 to 5 years. There will no longer be an annual fee. It will just be that one-off fee that you will pay for that level. If, for example, you're studying level 3, you would pay for the level 3 qualification. If you then moved on to level 4, you would then pay for the level 4 qualification. So you still pay per individual qualifications. However, you do not pay to renew. You will then have access to that for the full time. Once you've completed at level 4, absolutely. Once you progress onto professional membership, and it will be the same at level 3 if you're looking to go onto AATQB membership, or at level 4 you're going on to the full MAAT. After you've completed, you would then just pay the annual membership fee for whichever relevant professional membership it is you're looking for there. Got a question here. Someone said they are on AQ 2016. They've only got level 4 to complete. They've asked if it's better for them to register onto AQ 2022. And they've also asked when the first exam date is going to be under AQ 2022 for the level 4. So as we've said, we've given lots of advice in terms of when you register. If you'll register start the level 4, you can go ahead and register for that now under AQ 2016. If you're finishing level 3 and you're going to be ready to start around September time, you might want to look to register for the level 4 under Quals 2022. Georgie or Alice, can I come to you in terms of those assessment dates? They just want to know when the first exam date will be available. I know that's not something we've touched on yet.
No worries at all. So the assessments will be phased from September. So we'll be starting off with availability of level 2, progressing on to level 3, and then we'll be making level 4 assessments available. These may be subject to change at AAT's discretion, but we have published the dates. Helen, I'm not sure if we can get these dates up on the student web page as well, just for reference, but they will be, the level 4s will be available in September. I think it's towards the back end of September that they'll be available.
Yes, so I can just touch on those quickly now if you want. The level 4s will be available on the 12th and the 19th of September will be the initial dates in which we're suggesting level 4 unit assessments will be available for sitting.
Brilliant, thank you. And as I said, all of that information will be available and is available on the Qual 22 dedicated page online. So if we can reshare that again, Jaden, that'd be great. But everyone's got access to that through their My AAT, so you can have a good look through that, and you've got all of those dates and resources written there. Got a question here on level 4. These synoptics keep coming up. Everyone's loving to ask about the synoptics. Someone's asked if they finish their level 4 synoptic and want to finish their optional units with AQ 2022. Well, they've put, Qualifications 2022, we're calling it rather than AQ. Then what happens there? So obviously, maybe Alice, can I come to you again as level 4?
Yeah, of course. That's absolutely fine. So if you've completed your synoptic and you've just got the optional units to carry on, you can transfer those achievements across. I think almost all of them, in fact, I think all of the optional units, you can directly transfer your achievement across to Qualifications 2022, so that's fine.
Fab, thanks. And as I said, the synoptics just keep on coming. So another question here about level 3. I'm going to come to you again, Georgie, just so we can reiterate this for everybody. Someone's asked if they've passed all of level 3 except the synoptic, can they transfer over and not have to resit the synoptic?
They can transfer over, yes, on the basis that they've achieved all of the other assessments. The one assessment, of course, that they wouldn't have achieved on Q22 is the business awareness. So that would be your minimum of one assessment that would have to have been achieved as part of that transitioning rule. So just to recap, as part of that transfer, there's no minimum number of assessments that you can transfer across from AQ16 to Q22, but you have to have achieved at least one. And that doesn't include any that you've achieved via the RPL route or as an exemption from another qualification.
Perfect, thank you. So I guess it just highlights the point as well, just to make sure that you are looking at those transitional arrangements. I know we've had a lot of questions and comments from students that think, especially on the level 3, they can just transfer over and there's nothing left to have to do. But as we said, there will be that new assessment on there. So you will still have to do an assessment in order to complete that. So do make sure that you are checking those resources so you can make sure you plan ahead and you know exactly what's going to happen when you move over. Someone here has said on level 3 again, they've passed all the level 3 exams except for the synoptic and the spreadsheets. So would it be better to start afresh on the new one? What I would say to that is if you've only got a couple of assessments left on AQ 2016, just get them completed under AQ 2016. It's going to be less complicated. You've got plenty of time to do it. You can then complete it in full under that current syllabus. Like I said, everyone, we've got well over a year. So if you're at the point where you've only got 1 or 2 assessments left, I would just recommend just getting it completed on AQ 2016. If you're looking to go on to level 4, you can start that afresh on there, under the new syllabus on Quals 2022. But I would definitely say just get that one completed on AQ 2016. Okay, somebody has said, what modules are there to complete in the Quals 2022? So we did kind of cap over this at the beginning, and we do have access to, the syllabus. We've published lots of materials. Helen, can I come to you just to kind of touch on what's available in terms of how students can find out what there is to study under the new syllabus?
Yes, so in terms of sort of support resources, there will be plenty of resources available for you as soon as you register. We appreciate that it's difficult for you to understand at the moment kind of the level of detail. On your Q22 resource page, there are links to the qualification specification documents, which will outline kind of all the key areas within each of those units. So it's a good place to start to get a high level overview of what's included. And as I say, once you then register, you will have access to an entire suite of new resource material that has been created and developed ready for students sitting the Qualifications 2022 assessments. Jess, can we just pick up on a question that I've seen on the stream? Because I think we've not necessarily covered this and it's quite important. So somebody said, I've transferred some AQ 2013 modules to AQ 16. Would they transfer or would I need to redo these again? Do you want to just pick up on that? Because I know that's quite a critical point, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So when it comes to transferring through, the different syllabuses that we've had, it's just a key thing you need to keep in mind is that you can only transfer modules once. So if you've transferred some modules from AQ 2013 across to AQ 2016, they're not going to be able to transfer again. So it's really important that you get your AQ 2016 qualification completed before the deadline. The same goes for any previous syllabuses that we might have. We might have had students that originally started previously on the AQ 2010 that had then moved to 2013. In that same case, you weren't able to move across to 2016. We did see this in the past. We have had students that missed those deadlines, didn't realise that they had actually completed some modules on an earlier syllabus and then missed out on completing that qualification. So what I would recommend is that if you are somebody that studied with us some years ago and there was a bit of confusion on, you're not too sure whether you did start your qualification on AQ 2013, you think there's a chance that there might be, get in touch with us. We've got plenty of time and we'll be able to let you know exactly what you studied under. It's really quick for us to check, but I would say if there's any kind of doubt in your mind or you think that there is a chance that you may have studied some of the modules on AQ 2013, speak to your training provider, speak to us, we can confirm that for you. If that is the case, you will need to make sure that you complete under AQ 2016. You will not be able to transfer that forward. So do make sure that you check that because we wouldn't want anyone to miss out on completing that and then having to start the level completely again under the new qualifications 2022. So yeah, definitely a good point, Helen, and thanks for bringing that up. Like I said, if anyone's kind of got individual questions or you're not too sure in terms of your circumstances, what that means for you, get on the phone. You can, we've got our friendly team in our contact centre that you can call. We're open Monday to Friday. Drop us an email if you're not too sure. Make sure you get in touch. We'll be able to let you know what that means for you on an individual basis and get that sorted for you as well. Okay, let's pick up these as well. So I'm just going to have a bit of a look through because I know that some of the questions we've answered already. So we've covered quite extensively in terms of transferring over. I've got a question here that's quite interesting. Somebody's just asked about when they do look to transfer over and it's 2 units going into 1 unit and the assessment might be capped. What students should do then, because it might, lower the overall percentage once they complete the course. I guess that's one thing that we haven't touched on just to be aware of, is that all of these percentages will then equate to a final overall grade that you will get for that qualification. So do just please be mindful of that. If you are looking to transfer over and some of those modules will be capped, that may have an effect, yes, on the overall grade there. So that's something that you want to bear in mind. Again, that's another reason why we recommend if you are currently studying the AQ 2016, just get it completed on the 2016. That just means then that all of those units, those true sort of percentages that you've got, they'll be able to counter to that overall grade there at the end for you. Okay, let's just have a look through just to see what else we've got. Glad to see that we've got lots of interaction here and hopefully this is clearing a lot up for you. Just to let you all know as well, this session is being recorded, so it will be available for you to watch back if you've got anything that you've missed or that you wanted to go back and listen to again. You will have access to that. And again, we'll be sharing an AAT weekly in the newsletter to let you know how you can get access to that going forward as well. So let's have a look. A quick question here, actually, that might be good to touch on. People are just asking about whether they'll lose their qualifications once we kind of finish and we go over to the new syllabus. So I guess it's just kind of good just to reiterate the fact that, like Helen said earlier, we've got a new set of qualifications coming out, but that absolutely doesn't mean that the AQ 2016 is not valuable. You don't lose anything by us bringing a new syllabus in. Employers are still going to look at that and know that you've got the skills that they're looking for and the knowledge that they're looking for. They are still valuable. So like a lot of qualifications that we complete, standards do change throughout the years, but once you've completed that, that is your achievement. It is still very valuable. Lots of employers will look for it. If you're looking to go on and study further, whether that's with another accounting body or you're looking to go on to university, it will still be relevant for you as well. So it's you're not going to lose anything by a new syllabus coming in. It's still very much valuable. So keep working hard, keep getting that completion in there because it will be worth it in the end for what you're looking to do in the future. Okay, let's just skip through. I don't know if anyone else has picked up any questions in the meantime, just while I'm picking up. Let's have a look.
I was going to say, just to touch on one, there's one there around sort of someone's asked a question about that we've said there is a one-off payment and that this will last sort of 4 to 5 years, but then you also have to pay per studying levels. So are there 2 fees? There is a registration or a transfer fee for each qualification. So at the moment, obviously, you pay a membership fee on an annual basis. What Q22 does is you will pay the registration fee or the transfer fee if you are eligible to purchase the product, so the actual qualification level. So, for example, you do that and you buy level 2 if you're starting with a level 2 certificate in accounting. You will have access to that qualification for the length that qualification remains active with AAT, which is predominantly, as I say, 4 to 5 years. That means, should you wish to at any point go back and sit in one of your unit assessments to achieve a higher grade, you could do. You will have access to all of the study support resources for that qualification whilst that qualification remains active, which we know from a student's perspective, sometimes they like to go back and refresh their memory using some of the resources that are there on the learning portal. What it does mean is when you are ready to move on and register for the level 3 qualification, you will then pay the registration fee for that next level qualification. And again, in that same instance, you will have access to the qualification for as long as we have it active, and it will give you access to all of the resources. So instead of an annual membership fee, you are basically purchasing each level of the qualification as an independent product.
Perfect, thanks there. We've got a question here about somebody said that they've completed the level 2 and the level 3 and they're taking a bit of a break, so they're going to start fresh under level 4 for Quals 2022 in September. So he said, do they need to register themselves by September, or will they be transferred automatically? So this is a good point to pick up on. Nobody will be transferred automatically to Quals 2022. This is something that you will have to register for to show your intent that you would like to be on that, and then you'll have to pay the relevant fee. So if you're finishing your AQ 2016 and you know that you're going to start a new level from fresh in September or beyond for Quals 2022, like you did with the previous levels, you will have to register yourself for the first time. So you'll have to go online and register. That won't be available. You won't be able to see it until the 1st of September. That's the first date that's going to be available. But as soon as it is, and you know that you're ready to start, you'll need to go online and register for that. So you won't have access to any of the study support that we supply. You won't be able to set any assessments until you have registered yourself on there. So just make sure once the 1st of September hits and onwards, you're taking yourself online through your My AAT account. It'll be very obvious how you can go ahead and register for Qualifications 2022 there as well. Okay, so a lot again on the transfers in terms of the modules. Again, as we've said, just make sure you're aware of whether you've sat any assessments under AQ 2013, because you'll need to make sure that you finish under AQ 2016. And when it comes to transferring any units, you have got access to those transfer documents through your My AAT account. So definitely go have a look at those. If there's any confusions, you can always get in touch with us and we'll take you through on an individual basis and let you know what happens with that. Just to reiterate again with the fees, somebody asked the transfer fee, whether that will cover for the whole of Quals 2022 or if they'll need to renew again in September 2023. As we said, no, once you've paid that initial fee, whether it's a reduced transfer fee or whether you're paying the one-off fee, you will have access then for the entirety of that being live. You won't have to pay another renewal fee. You'll just register for each individual ones there. Somebody has asked, they've said that their college has advised them that it's the last opportunity the college is running to pass the synoptic level 4 this week. If they can't, and then after that, they're not able to continue to study with that training provider. So they're asking how they can sit that assessment. In that case, you can book your assessment directly with an assessment venue. If you get near the time and you find that you want to complete AQ 2016, but your normal training provider is no longer running AQ 2016 assessments, we still will be making those assessments available. So it will just be a case of finding a local assessment venue and you can book the exam in with them directly. Again, through your My AAT account, you can access the search through your training and assessment tab or on your dashboard, there is a link there where you can go and find an assessment venue. Really simple, pop your postcode in, say what level you're looking to study, and it will give you the nearest centre for you as well. So you can have a look at that and book that in with them directly. Get that assessment sorted. Let's just have a look. Just more on transfers here as well, which I think we've answered quite a lot there as well. So it looks like we've answered quite a lot of the questions that have come in. I can't really see anything new that's come through that we've not touched on. I know we're getting nearly ready to wrap up then. So I'd say, Helen, Georgie, Alice, any sort of final messages from you? Any key things that you want to get across before we wrap up today?
I think probably just to recap on those dates. So registrations, transfers, anything in relation to studying with Qualifications 2022, you cannot register or transfer until the 1st of September 2022. If you are looking to register on an AQ 2016 qualification that you wish to study, you have until the 31st of August 2022 to do so. You have up until the 30th of September 2023 to study or sit assessments for the AQ 2016 qualifications. That being said, do check the synoptic window calendar, because obviously there are key dates for those assessments, and we would hate for you to miss out on resits or sitting in a synoptic because you've not checked when the last window is available. Other than that, always, if you're not registered with AAT Weekly, make sure you subscribe to be registered so you can get all the latest information, and do check your Qualifications 2022 webpage. Jaden's very kindly put the link out for you guys. Everything that we've talked about today and anything else that we might be sharing in the next few months as we get to the 1st of September will be on that page. So do have a look, and also talk to your training providers. They know you better than we do. They will be able to advise you how best to carry on with your qualifications with AAT.
I think just to echo Helen's words, you know, we've developed an awful lot of support material that's available. So please familiarise yourself with that. Again, it's all up on the website. We'll be adding more and more over the next couple of months. And again, you know, just speak to the training provider if you've got any other questions. But hopefully we've answered enough. Jess, you've done a fantastic job of coordinating the Q&As. So yeah, hopefully we've answered most of them. And any that we need to come back to you on, we will do.
Fabulous, thank you. So that's it from us. Hopefully this has given you a bit of a whistle-stop tour of everything that you needed to read. Hopefully you know where you can go and get everything now. The support is out there. You know, we're here to support you if you need anything as well. Make sure you check out those key dates, have a look at the resources. We've made it easy for you. It's over to you now just to go out there and find that information for yourself, and we're on hand if you've got any questions. As I said, this session has been recorded, so you'll be able to access it afterwards. We will be resharing how to do that as well via AAT Weekly this week, so you can have another little look there. But otherwise, thank you for spending your lunchtime with us. I hope it's been helpful, and we'll definitely see you on another Facebook Live event again soon.